I'm grateful to be known as somebody who is a real person, like a person that brings an energy that is always for the people, about the people. And with my feet on the ground, maybe some people feel like I'm somewhere over here. I really don't feel that.
One of the most celebrated artists of our generation, a woman praised for her authenticity, her raw talent, and her message of empowerment, might have been living a life scripted by the very industry she claimed to rise above. Alicia Keys is known worldwide as a piano prodigy, a soulful voice, and a global icon of natural beauty and truth. But behind the awards, the glowing image, and the carefully crafted narrative lies a much more complicated story. A story of control, manipulation, industry power games, personal scandals, and accusations that have shadowed her for years. From Clive Davis's iron grip on her career to Jay-Z's sudden pivot that cemented her legacy, to explosive allegations of home-wrecking, staged relationships, and hypocrisy in the name of activism, this is the side of Alicia Keys that the industry never wanted you to hear. When Alicia Keys first burst onto the music scene in 2001, she seemed like a breath of fresh air. With her cornrows, her piano, and her emotional ballads, she represented something real in an era dominated by polished pop stars and manufactured girl groups. But the truth is, Alicia's authenticity was, in many ways, manufactured as well. Clive Davis, one of the most powerful executives in the music business, saw potential in Alicia long before the public knew her name. After signing her to Arista, he threw his full weight behind reshaping her sound, her image, and her brand. Alicia's original debut album was scrapped, re-recorded, and restructured to fit Davis's vision. The braids? They were intentional, meant to signal urban credibility. The piano? Spotlighted to separate her from typical R&B acts. The modest style? A contrast to the hypersexualized marketing of women at the time. Everything about her was carefully curated to feel natural, when in fact it was the result of meticulous planning. The gamble worked. Songs in A minor became an instant classic, selling over 12 million copies and earning Alicia 5 Grammys. Suddenly, she was the face of neo-soul, hailed as a true artist in a sea of pop puppets. But industry insiders whispered that Clive Davis had stacked the deck in her favor, sidelining other artists to ensure her success. To many, Alicia wasn't just a rising star, she was Clive's chosen one, the project he would protect at all costs. If Clive Davis built Alicia Keys into a star, Jay-Z helped transform her into a legend. In 2009, Jay-Z was preparing to release Empire State of Mind, a love letter to New York City that would become one of his most iconic songs. But here's the twist. Alicia wasn't supposed to be on it. The original chorus had been sung by another powerhouse, Mary J. Blige. In fact, Blige even performed the song live in its early form. But at some point, the decision was made to bring in Alicia Keys. To this day, the reasons are debated. Some say it was pure business. Her voice fit the mainstream vision Jay and his team wanted. Others whisper it had more to do with behind-the-scenes relationships and influence. Even Alicia herself admitted years later that the process wasn't smooth. Jay had trouble reaching her, and when she first recorded her vocals, he wasn't satisfied. He asked her to redo them, something she confessed left her shocked. But eventually, the final cut clicked, and the rest is history. Empire State of Mind went 9 times platinum, won 2 Grammys, and became the anthem of New York for an entire generation. Alicia performed it at the World Series, the VMAs, and countless other stages. It cemented her not just as a star, but as a cultural icon. And yet, questions lingered. Why Alicia? Why not Mary J. Blige, who had already put her stamp on the record? Why bring in an artist who wasn't even tied to Roc Nation, Jay-Z's own empire? To some, the answer was simple. Alicia had the right image. To others, it looked like a calculated move to tie her forever to Jay-Z's legacy. But while Alicia Keys was being celebrated on stage, the shadows around her began to grow darker. The loudest critic was Jaguar Wright.
Like, people are forgetting when she moved into Swiss and them's house to work on the music with him, he was still married to his wife, living in that same house. And then she moved in while she was cool with the wife. It's plotting to steal her husband to cover up the fact that she's a dyke and she had just got caught beating that girlfriend of hers up down there in Aruba somewhere or something like that. Yeah, 'cause she used to run down to the islands, take a little down there. And then when she ain't go right, she smack him up. She a whole fucking dude. She's a real dyke. Just like Swiss is a real diddy doo-wop.
A former R&B singer who unleashed fiery rants about the industry and its stars. Wright accused Alicia of being far from the image she presented to the world. According to Wright, Alicia had engaged in affairs, manipulated relationships, and even wrecked homes. The most damning accusation was that Alicia had been involved with producer Swizz Beatz while he was still married to his then-wife Mashonda. Wright claimed Alicia had knowingly pursued him, leaving destruction in her wake. She also dragged in another man, Antonio Gordon, alleging that Alicia had treated him so badly that their relationship ended in chaos after he caught her cheating. But Wright didn't stop there. She painted Alicia as an industry puppet controlled by Clive Davis, suggesting that her career was maintained through powerful connections rather than pure talent. She accused Alicia of hiding her true self, staging high-profile romances with men to suppress questions about her sexuality, and creating a false image of authenticity. Wright even recalled mocking Alicia in public, ridiculing her acne, and challenging her to a fight, swearing she'd win. The rants were wild, unfiltered, and often personal. And yet, in an industry where whispers often reveal uncomfortable truths, some fans couldn't help but wonder, how much of it was real? The accusations weren't just coming from Jaguar Wright. In 2009, Mashonda Tafrere, the ex-wife of Swizz Beatz, wrote an open letter addressed directly to Alicia Keys. In it, she accused Alicia of knowingly interfering in her marriage. Quote, "You know what you did," Mashonda wrote. "You know the role you played." The letter went viral, sparking a media firestorm. Fans debated furiously online. Some called Alicia a homewrecker, a woman who betrayed another by taking her husband. Others defended her, arguing that love was complicated and that Mashonda's anger was misdirected. Alicia herself? She stayed silent. No public rebuttals, no messy interviews, no back and forth. She simply kept performing, kept winning awards, and kept building her brand. But the silence only fueled the narrative. If she had nothing to hide, why not speak? In 2016, Alicia Keys made a move that stunned the entertainment industry. She appeared at the BET Awards completely barefaced.
Gorgeous. I mean, part of that is it's internal, but it's external too. You've just kind of started a movement here. I don't know if you meant to, but you are not wearing makeup.
Exactly.
And I mean, first of all, you don't wear it so well. Did I say that right? You look absolutely gorgeous. How does it feel though, inside?
Really empowering, actually, really freeing. And I think the thing is, it kind of came from because we put so many limitations on ourselves. I think we put limitations on each other. Society puts limitations on us, and in a lot of ways, I'm sick of it. I'm over it, to be honest. And that, as well, is a lot about what the music is about. It's about being our unique own selves, because we each have something that no one else has, and it'd be so amazing to just embrace each other.
No foundation, no mascara, no lipstick, nothing. In a world where celebrities were judged by their looks at every turn, it was a bold and powerful statement. Alicia followed it up with an essay declaring she was done with hiding, done with the pressure to conform, and committed to being her truest self. The no-makeup movement she sparked became global. Women around the world praised her bravery, many following her example and ditching cosmetics. For a moment, Alicia was more than a musician. She was a revolutionary figure. But then came the backlash. Fans began noticing that Alicia's so-called bare looks weren't always so bare. Close-up photos revealed tinted moisturizers, bronzer, and subtle enhancements. Suddenly, the movement that had felt authentic began to look like another PR campaign. Critics accused her of hypocrisy, of using empowerment as a marketing tool while still quietly conforming to the very beauty standards she claimed to reject. Once again, Alicia had turned silence into strategy, refusing to defend herself while letting the narrative play out on their own. In 2024, Alicia Keys made headlines once again, but this time the reaction was overwhelmingly negative. She performed at a women's summit in Saudi Arabia, a country with a notorious record of human rights abuses, particularly against women. To many, this was a direct contradiction of everything Alicia claimed to stand for. How could a woman who built her brand on empowerment and liberation take the stage in a nation known for jailing female activists, silencing dissent, and enforcing oppressive laws? Critics accused her of hypocrisy, arguing that she had sold out her values for a paycheck and global exposure. Human rights groups called it out as cultural whitewashing, using a celebrity to put a glamorous face on a repressive system. Fans, who had once looked up to her as a symbol of truth and resistance, now questioned whether she had ever truly believed in her message. Once again, Alicia stayed silent. For more than 20 decades, Alicia Keys has been celebrated as an icon of authenticity. She has been called real, grounded, genuine, and inspiring. But when we look beneath the surface, a more complicated picture emerges. Her image was crafted by Clive Davis, one of the most powerful manipulators in the industry. Her biggest collaboration was born not from destiny, but from sudden pivots and behind-the-scenes decisions. Her marriage and personal life have been clouded by accusations of betrayal and homewrecking. Her no-makeup movement, hailed as revolutionary, faced accusations of being staged. Her activism clashed with her willingness to perform in oppressive environments. And through it all, Alicia Keys has relied on one tactic more than any other: silence. While other celebrities clap back, post statements, or get lost in messy feuds, Alicia simply refuses to engage. In doing so, she has protected her brand, maintained her image, and left fans to argue over the truth on their own. So who is the real Alicia Keys? A genius artist and empowering figure who deserves her crown? Or a carefully manufactured product of the music industry, shielded by silence and sustained by a story she never truly lived? At the end of the day, Alicia Keys' legacy may depend less on the truth and more on the image that survives. For her fans, she'll always be the girl at the piano with braids singing her heart out. For her critics, she'll always be a symbol of the music industry's ability to manufacture authenticity itself. But what do you think? Is Alicia Keys as real as she claims, or has her entire career been carefully controlled from the braids to the bare face? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more deep dives into the untold stories of the music industry, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because this is just the beginning.